Thank you for joining us and welcome sports fans. You are now watching the Baseball Hippie Show, Baseball Hippie Show, Baseball Hippie Show. Wow, it's the Baseball Hippie Show. Welcome all, it's just love and baseball. Just love and baseball. Just love and baseball. Baseball Hippie Show. Welcome all, it's just love and baseball. Baseball Hippie Show. Welcome all, it's just love and baseball. Baseball, just love and baseball. Just love and
Wow,
baseball.
back again.
Baseball.
The straight best intro in all of podcasting. I'm not even talking baseball podcast. Wow, that's the hyper jam, Tobe. That's a Tobe original, everybody. Welcome back. Yeah, season 4, Baseball Hippie, episode 1. We've been on a little bit of what I guess they out there call a hiatus, but there's we'll get into the just life stuff, just doing our thing. But welcome everybody to the Baseball Hippie Show, a show about baseball, psychedelia, and denuclearization. And denuclearization is the idea of completely eliminating all the nuclear weapons off planet Earth, but not like blowing them up, but like the other way, like get rid of them. As we do every show, and it feels so nice to do this because we haven't done it in a while. I asked the guys how they're doing. Got Brownbear to my left, Tobe right below. You guys, how are we doing in life, and how are we doing in Mariners life? Brownbear, why don't you set it off?
Life is good. Life's been crazy. Big changes during the off season for me. And Mariners life is, I feel like we're back to regular Mariners life. Last year was a fever dream, and now we're back to the real. But yeah, baseball's good, man. It's the Mariners. We've been in it before. We can get out of it again. And yeah, we'll get into it, but it's not as bleak as it seems sometimes.
Me too. Good vibes only for me, man. But it's good to know, man. Good to know how we're doing. Yeah, man. Tobe, how are you doing?
Good to be back, fellas. Life's going good. We got another year in the Pantaloons, and yeah, man, we learned a nasty curveball in the off season, something like that.
Nasty.
We're good.
Your grip,
we're good.
right? Nice.
We're good.
Someone came prepared this year. Well, that's awesome, man. Yeah, a lot of big changes this year. I can say on my end a few differences from last year is I want to thank you guys for putting me on. I listen to more baseball podcasts and just podcasts in general than I have my whole life. And so I got Baseball Today, Chris Rose Rotation, Buster Olney I used to listen to too, and then I put him back in, and then the Pitching Ninja when those come out. So you guys put me on some great podcasts, and like I've learned a lot about like honestly listening to players talk is like, especially with the ones that are kind of cool. It's like, I don't know, it just really like opens it up for me about like what they're like and how like relatively normal they kind of are, some of them. But man, love those pods. So it's like I kind of feel like now I know the field a little better as we're have our own take on the game. But yeah, man, yeah, I guess that's the big thing I can think of. I guess now
Yeah.
we're getting
Yeah, I'd like to add, I mean, it's a shame we didn't do the preseason picks because I did choose the Reds and the Diamondbacks and Texas to be division leaders right now. I mean, I don't know. There's no fact checking. I don't have the receipts or anything, but everybody knows I said that. Everybody knows.
I
If you go back 2 months, I said that.
I got it. Yeah. Well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that too. We'll definitely. Maybe we won't do picks today, but we could do mid-season picks. It's just as good in my opinion. But yeah, we didn't do the picks this year. You know, the picks are great to do, but I feel like we don't learn a lot usually. Like we're just all like I'm always crazy off on the World Series pick. You know, like, but that's like other than that, like I think Brownbear, you and Josh have had some good Rookie of the Year picks. Maybe some good Cy Youngs, but like, yeah, those division picks are so hard. That would have been glory, man. To get all 6 divisions,
bro. Everybody around me knew I said that.
All right, man. All right. Well, if it's not on video podcast evidence, then we can't bring it. We can't use it on this YouTube show.
True.
All right, so yeah, let's get into the as we always do is the shout outs and yeah, big changes. Congratulations, Brownbear, on becoming a father, my man.
Hey. Shout out Henry. Hank is
on the roster.
Little
man
Hank,
on the
dude.
roster.
Yeah, dude. New man on the roster. No, it's been
So,
tight. It's been a trip, but it's really, really cool.
Nice, man. Yeah,
Congrats,
I see the pics.
man. Congrats.
I gotta come
He's
say
a cutie.
hey. Yeah, man. You guys work on any drills yet, or you guys doing any soft toss, ground like what is it? Ron Washington on your knees, grounders.
Yeah.
Like keep your glove forward. Keep your glove forward.
Yeah, there's been a lot of groundwork, you could say.
Yeah.
He spends a lot of time on the ground.
Nice. He's working on his slide every day.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
He's working on his swim moves for sure. Swim moves
Dude,
in a second.
I sent that one video to the chat. Oh,
Hey.
shout out Henry.
Cutie.
Dude, this is a special
Stud.
shout out this
Total
week.
stud.
That's awesome, Brownbear. Congrats again, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, so Brownbear's the engineer of the show. He runs the boards and obviously the co-host. Tobe's our social media guy, aka co-host, and he joined the crew 2 years ago now, Tobe. So this is your second season. Yeah, you're out of your rookie year, man. That's another change, I guess.
Yeah, man. Hey, everybody talks about sophomore slump, bro. I don't see it.
It is the first episode, and you have said that you called the Reds and the Diamondbacks.
The social
And who
media is
else?
hot right now.
Who else? Did you call Ubaldi? You're like, I think Ubaldi's going to win the Cy Young this year.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I had guys on the inside who knew he was just a few mechanical changes away from a Cy Young season. Everybody,
Nice.
I mean, yeah, that's why I'm a social media manager, dude. I get reach out to my spider web of socials, man. We got guys on the inside. I'm gonna stop talking for a second.
That actually makes a lot of sense.
Sophomore slump is going in quick.
If our social media was that vast, but we're still getting that part of the show off the ground. The conversation about baseball we're doing pretty good at, I'd say. And the format we're always working, so we're doing good, guys. But yeah, that's of course, special shout out Brownbear, man. That's really awesome. And so it's
shout out.
Hey, my wife did most of the work.
Oh yeah, shout out to your wife.
Shout out my wife.
That's the second. Yeah.
But it's been nice to contribute since he has been on this side of it. But it's fun, yeah.
Yeah, shout out.
She did all the work in terms of getting him here.
To your wife, holler back. We got that on record. So double shout out. Yeah. Great.
Papa
Cool.
Bear.
Yeah, Papa Bear. Are you changing the name up?
Yeah, Papa Bear.
So okay, cool. Tobes, you still going by Tobes?
Yeah. Tobe's
Cool.
blue check marked me up.
Yeah,
man,
we're just kidding. Okay, now, can you get us blue check, Tobe? Tobe, we gotta get to 100 subs, and then we can own the YouTube channel that says URL the baseball. Anyways, we'll get into that later.
Don't worry. Yeah. That's behind the scenes.
We're getting reacclimated here on the Baseball Hippie show about baseball, psychedelia, and denuclearization. And yeah, man, we're through the first two segments. We're gonna move on to the weekly roundup here. What can I not say? What cannot be said, man? This has been a interesting year so far as teams get out of the gate. I think it's worth mentioning Kells came out hot as a man in the Mariners universe. Jay Kellenick kind of cooled off, not gonna lie. But what are your what should we get into first on the weekly? Is it, what's the most surprising thing to you guys this year? That's really just the basis of it.
I'll start off and say, I know you just mentioned he's cooled off a little bit, Jared Kellenick, but even if last year you told me he's hitting 260 right now, I think if you've told me last year he's gonna be hitting 260 towards the end of June, I would have laughed at you. There's no way. But yeah, he turned it around. He put in the work, and I feel like this type of, he was hitting like 280, 290, over 300 for a while. I feel like the type of slump that would have brought his average down this much last year would have ruined him. So the fact that he's still with it and he's able to kind of, still get out there and put good ABs together and get some hits, it shows that I think he really has figured it out in some way. So
yeah, I was at the Father's Day game where he went oppo for that triple, man, and he kind of, yeah, man, I agree. And now that I play a lot of the show, which we should talk about too, is like, I'm realizing how much timing is. I psych myself out on how bad I am, but it's like, it's because I'm behind on every single thing because I'm not timing it correctly.
Yeah,
I feel like
you get in a groove and you end up like, you can get in a good groove and you can get in a bad groove. And I
exactly.
feel like that's one thing I love. Obviously I love video games and sports video games, but that game in particular, I feel like is in that way a really true emulation of what like real baseball is.
100%.
Like,
I could not agree more.
It really does a good job of giving you a look into like what a real hitter's approach is. Obviously it's not the same thing, but no. I think with that sort of like groove with the timing and in like pitch recognition and all that stuff, I think it really is more of an emulation than some other sports games can be.
100%.
It's true, dude. It's true. What was the pitcher, Jess, you were bringing up the other day? The guy who he throws a couple innings on the show before his
Giolito. Yeah, shout out, bro. Again, just another thing I learned from this podcast.
Yeah. What was he saying? He was just talking about he was just trying to get his pitch rhythm down and stuff like that. It wasn't even about
what's that sequence?
Does he play as himself?
Yes.
He's talking about he's a 74.
Weeks, so I get bombed out before the games. He said that.
That's so funny, dude.
They had like a throwback Giolito card. I saw there on there. I bet he bought it. Good for him.
That's
It was like a 92 or something. We'll get into this.
He's probably in the moment. He's like, I gotta play with the 74, bro.
They all get
he earns it. He wears it.
All the actual players get a true. They call it a true 99, and they give you like it's your card as a 99, like all juiced up. So
really? They give it to the players?
Yeah, every
that want it?
Actual player that wants one can have a 99 version of themselves.
Whoa. That's cool. That's fucking cool.
That's crazy because I think the Giolito episode was from a couple years ago, but a year ago.
Called a real 99, not a true 99, but yeah.
Okay, that's
cool. Shout out to the
Brownberry.
developers. That's
Yeah,
a cool
you
little
know
touch.
so much about the game. I just want to point that out. Like, Brown Bear's kind of the guy I go to when I can't figure some shit out. Like, I did figure out something on my own the other day, the events. I could not figure out how to get that, but then I went. But yeah, shout out the show. We'll get into the stock market, aka MLB The Show, the video game, the baseball video game that comes out every year and charges $100. And we keep going back, man. It's got good stuff.
Hundo.
My girlfriend asked me the other day, she's like, do you like doing this? I was like, doing like a conquest or something. And I was like, nah, I actually don't. I just want to get the card to play with my boys. And she was like, oh, I understand that. I was like,
so
I actually
funny.
just don't even really like it, but it does make me better, I feel like, when I do play with you guys. But I just want the card, man. I want that Griffey Kid card so bad, but you got to steal 10 bases with Kevin Biggio. What are you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Make it impossible.
It's got to get on the grind,
Anyways.
dude. Set that shit to rookie and play the Tigers for 9 innings. Just spam that shit.
Ooh, he's dropping knowledge.
That's the move.
Damn.
Oh, and then just steal. That's when you do the steals and get all those points.
I mean, you have to get on base, obviously, but yeah, like it's turning into MLB.
I
The
will
Show
say I've
thing, but
leveled
that's
up
how
by
I-
putting in so many hours.
That's how I
Yeah.
grind. Is I make a lineup of all the different dudes who have missions that need to be done, and then I play the Tigers on rookie, just like over and over, and like grind the stat
You're
missions.
you're fucking blowing my mind. Yeah. All right. Again, like I said, we'll get into the show, in this episode later or in another episode, the stock market. Maybe you can show some of the cards you have this year. Or maybe we could play a multiplayer match like in the All-Star break or something. That'd be hella fun.
Yeah, we should
But,
figure that out.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, I guess let me just mention the surprises because we are a baseball podcast. More psychedelia podcast, if those exist. Texas, super good. You could kind of argue they might have cooled off, but they still like definitively lead the division today, June 22nd, 2023. But what else? Cincy just went on a run. The Giants went on a run. It's like I feel like the first half of the season is kind of not the first half. The first third is over, and like now it's starting to level out. Then the All-Star break's gonna hit, and then we're gonna see another phase. Is my guess, but it kind of is come in waves. I feel like. Am I making that up? Is that something to do with the new schedule, or are a lot of teams just on the verge in the last couple years and now they're figuring it out? I can't really tell myself. And the Rays started off the season 14-0. That has to be mentioned too. But yeah, I don't know. It's like I don't like that the Rangers are leading our division, and when we visited them away, it was definitely our worst series statistically and emotionally. But I don't know, man. I feel like we're gonna see what the fabric is here. Like every season, it's kind of like every year. Basically, it's like now that we're really starting to settle into like games every week and who's good,
Mm-hmm.
And I think Tampa and Texas are still good. I don't know if they're like as dominant as like, and Atlanta I think is also a good pick because they're just solid and have been. What do you guys have to say about who's hot right now and what's your predictions going into the All-Star break? I think.
Well, I feel like the Rays are still hot, but they were never gonna keep up. They had like a 750 winning percentage, I think, for the first month of the season. I don't think that was ever going to be sustainable, but they still have a 670, 667 winning percentage. 52-26, 4.5 games ahead of the Orioles.
Jeez, they've gone on a tear recently, haven't they? Because that's monster numbers.
Yeah,
Well,
that's big boy.
Yeah, so the Orioles have been playing well. The Rays have kind of faltered in the last few weeks. I think they lost like 2 out of 3 to the A's, which was a bad look. And the Orioles have been playing well. The Rays are 4-6 in their last 10. The Orioles are 6-4. But the AL East in general is just beast. Like, you know, all of the teams are above 500. The Red Sox are sitting in 5th place at 39-37. Like, what? It's just crazy. Like, they would be leading. The Red Sox are in 5th place. They would be leading. They'd be the first place team in the AL Central.
And they could end the season like that. And I think that is the schedule change in motion right there, is my guess. But again, I'm trying to.
It plays into it for sure because there's less interdivisional matchups. You play less games against your division.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know how mathematically. I mean, we could probably look up if there ever was a division that everybody played over 500 before. You know, obviously the divisions got switched, but that would be a way to compare because I don't know. Is it like happenstance on the first year that the schedule changes and you play less divisional teams? That
I
one
think
division
it probably is small, pretty small
500.
sample size for one, and then two, I think you have to probably look at.
That's a good point.
I think we're looking at it at a fairly like surface level thing. Like it might lead to one division being, you know, where the East is like clearly the best division in at least the American League right now.
So they get the most wild card spots. Like
yeah,
that makes
but
a lot
I
of
guess
sense.
my point is I think if the Rays were playing everybody in their division, it's hard to say. I don't know. Maybe they would still be doing as well, and the rest of the division wouldn't be doing as well, or maybe the Rays wouldn't be doing as well because they'd be playing other really great teams. So, I think it's hard to just look at it on paper and say exactly what's happening. But
I like your point about
true.
the data because it's like sample size. Yeah, we're a third way through this season compared to all of baseball up until this point. I mean, at least in the modern era, you play your division. It seems to be the norm for the last 2 decades of seasons. So I'm with that.
Yeah, and I'd add too, like, it's interesting because it's like, you know, lost Jay. Oh, never mind. Yeah, it's interesting because it's like, from a Mariners perspective, you know, if these standings were happening on like a schedule year where we weren't doing cross divisional, like Texas winning the division or leading the division, and you have Houston right behind them, and then you have the AL East crushing it. This is definitely a hello darkness, my old friend moment where you're like, well, shit, we're just gonna get fucking stomped out, and there's gonna be no wild cards. But as an optimist, look, it's like, well, shit, like, you know, Mariners can maybe creep up by like playing other teams and trying to creep their record back up, and then maybe by the end of the year being able to like take on a Texas or a AL East team. But you guys know what I mean, where it's like if this was a normal year and I feel like Texas had this same type of lead, it's like almost at this point in the season I would feel like you would be like, dude, it's almost done unless we start beating Texas and Houston a lot. Because the AL East has 4 teams with better fucking records. Yeah. But at this point, it's like there's so many cross-divisional games. There's still an optimist outlook where it's like, shit, I mean, we could just, you know, beat up on a lot of other teams. And especially the Central teams right now are looking pretty bad. So it's like...
but we never do... you're right. I mean, but consistently, we have kind of beat the bad teams up into this point and then lost to the good teams like that. Right. I was looking at the schedule the other day and I'm just like, dang, the Mariners are, you know, just when's the last time we beat a winning team?
Yeah, but I think that would be my point is like, I don't know if this is actually like based on anything more just hearsay, but it's like at this point in a regular season, if the schedule didn't change, it's like if we can't beat good teams, especially in division teams, then there's almost no chance. But it's like with the new schedule, you can kind of stay afloat longer until the end of the season, maybe. Does that make any sense? Where it's like...
No, it does. I get what you're saying.
Yeah. It's like at this point, it's like if we're just going to keep playing Houston, Texas, we would be... I don't know, there would be maybe a theory where it's like we could be like 8 or 9 games under, you know, but...
No, I think I agree with you in general, but I think on the flip a little bit, it takes a little bit of the like classic like your destiny's in your own hands sort of thing out of it. Because if like, you know, if you come into September, like in seasons past, and you're, 8 games back on the Astros, but you play 2 more series against them. You definitely can you can come up a lot quicker beating the Astros rather than counting on them to lose to other teams. But I do agree with your point that like it takes if you're looking at a team that's 46-28 and you got to play them another 12 times this season, it's kind of like, oh fuck, man.
Right.
So knowing that I think we only have 1 series against the Rangers left for the rest of the season, so they are kind of not. They're probably like, we have to handle our business. They have to handle our business, but we don't really have to worry about coming up against that giant who seems to have our number this year, for sure.
Man, yeah. Tobe, go, man. It's all good.
Oh no, yeah. I just think it's the last month, and like you guys were talking about, like small data samples, but it's gonna be interesting with the new schedule with the last month with getting some wild card play-ins where you're talking about exactly what you're saying, where it's like your destiny is a little more out of your hands, but also I feel like maybe there'll be more exciting shit going down, because it's like you have more teams playing each other. Like imagine if there's like 8 teams trying to get in the wild card, and then they're all like playing each other in random cross divisional things, and then
No, I know that's happened before.
Like Texas,
it's like you're in the chase with 2 other teams, and then they end up playing each other, so you're gonna get some games on either one. Unless they tie every game, which is impossible. So
like it'll be interesting if the Rangers face or Houston faces Houston faces the Yankees, or something like that, where they're like both trying to claw on like the wild card 1 and 2 or something.
Yeah. I mean,
not reality so much for us, but maybe just for baseball fans in general. I
feel like whether the new schedule or not, I feel like we so far have been talking the new schedule, and even on last season more than other podcasts out there. But whether it has an effect or not, the Mariners were gonna be in the dog fight for the wild card, right? That the idea of them beating Houston, I thought at the beginning of the season, was a possibility that we were going to plus up so much that we would be a divisional leader. Man, our group chat has me feeling another way, thanks to DT, who's on a fishing boat in Alaska right now. But other people, man, everybody's like, I feel like we're a long ways away from a complete playoff, possibly championship team. And I know this sounds delusional, but I thought we were making steps toward that this year. And that's okay, though, because, like, in real life, learning kind of works the same way, Like, it's not just, like, a straight trajectory. And as a fan, me and Tobe have actually gone to a lot of games this year. I have as well. Like, watching the games are still fun because they're working out the kinks, man. Like, I still think Gilbert and Brash are good. They're just they're just getting bombed out in their young career. They haven't gotten to the dominant stage yet. And maybe they'll never get there. I'm not forecasting that, but they certainly both could. Everybody knows they have the stuff, Especially
you can't just be always good, or else you don't know how to overcome shit. So I agree. I think it's learning time, and hey, the division looks far away right now, but we're only 4 games back from a wild card spot currently. So
yeah, exactly.
And things are changing. Like people were hot, and I think that's a good segue to talk about Ohtani for a second, because I know you guys call him my boyfriend, and I'm cool with that because he has exceeded so many expectations to even me, dude. He is you gotta give him his due respect, because the WBC, which I think we didn't talk about that on a podcast yet, have we?
No, we haven't podcasted since then.
Yeah, I mean, him striking out Trout was, like, as a baseball fan, I stood up and like took a shot. I was like, I just knew all the baseball fans on Earth, literally on planet Earth, were like watching that and just like goosies, man. It was like so good the way he struck out at Trout. And then he comes in the season and he's like pretty normal, and now he's just like dominant, man. Like he leads the league in home runs and has this chance to win the Cy Young, it looks like.
He's locked, dude. He's locked, bro.
Yeah.
It's so crazy, dude. We were watching things on how beginning of the season, bro, everyone pitched him inside, and they like every single pitcher, and they were like he was just like kind of pulling the ball, kind of striking out, and something just because he's a goat. That's what goats do, bro. He just changed it. He just stepped off the plate, and you can see there was like 5 home runs, dude, in end of May where it's just inside fastball, he just parks it. And then now his most recent ones, he's just going oppo power. So it's like the dude can make changes, he can adjust. He's just a baller, dude. He's balling.
Yep.
That's what
It's great to see someone live up to like their expectation, the hype, I guess.
Yeah.
That doesn't
100%.
always happen, and he is like
100%.
everything.
I'm
and
glad
more.
you said that. I'm glad you said that because I've always compared him to LeBron. People think that's weird, but I'm like, it's the one person I can say who I knew about like almost years, it feels like, before he ever played like American pro. I mean, in Ohtani's case, but it's just like, I don't know, man. His legend was like, it was like giving me goosebumps, and then that's why I was so hype on him, and the fact he could have almost been a Mariner, which is a long distance pass at this point. But we were walking to the game the other day, and Tobe, I mean, not that we're going to go on an Angels podcast here, but Tobe was talking about how they have a super interesting situation coming up at the trade deadline, depending on where they sit, because his return is unfathomable, and you could get I'm talking like you could get people's farm system for like a half a year, of him, just having him. He's a spectacle. He'll make the team the money tenfold. But I think they're going to try to re-sign him, and they're going to make the plea that they're good this year, which they are. You can't take that away from them so far.
Future Los Angeles Dodgers, Shohei Ohtani. The worst thing they can do is go above 500 this year, bro. He needs to get the fuck out of the Angels fucking entire thing that's going on. And I'm not just saying this as a Mariners fan who's obviously an Angels hater, but like, you just I don't know, dude. They've proven that you can't have 2 superstars that suck the entire payroll up. It's just tough to do, and it's fun to watch Mike Trout and Shohei do it, but like, they don't have the dollars necessary to do that, and there's only 2 spots that could do that. It's probably the Dodgers or the Mets, and get that boy in the playoffs, bro. Get him on the fucking Dodgers, dude. I think that would be tight. I know that's probably what a lot of people say, but
I'll say this one more
time
Ohtani thing about get him in the playoffs, and again, just goosebumps. It might not be true, especially on the pitching side. Everybody gets shelled, but he looked in the WBC, which is kind of like a giant tournament playoff. He looked pretty fucking comfortable coming out in the 9 or wherever. I think he lives up to the hype because he kind of gets it. It feels like he really just likes the game of baseball, and he's gonna just I bet his preparation is unmatched. I bet it's like he's a big dude. He does the thing, but he also, I think he could tear it up in the playoffs. If he tore it up, would I be surprised? Not at all, dude. It's Ohtani. Yeah. He's you know what it is? He's becoming a legend right now. Like, we will talk about him in 20 years. This is his legend. Like, the next 3 or 4 years will be his legend. Because you're right. He either goes to the Dodgers and is in like the World Series every year. I don't know how they could make it to the World Series with Mookie. Like, come on, man, I do have to list the dudes on Ohtani, but
and Brownbear, could I ask you a big favor right now? Could you bring up the Shohei Ohtani Funyuns picture in the back of the bus?
Oh, you're right. As a folk hero. You're right. That picture. I was gonna say. I kind of want to frame that one. Another like
our viewers out there on
moment.
YouTube.
Psychedelia, y'all. It's like
This is
for
a
some
psychedelia
reason
anti-nuclear picture.
a picture of Ohtani eating Funyuns, and this relates to the podcast I was talking about earlier. Is like for some reason a picture of Ohtani eating Funyuns on the back of a Greyhound while the team's going somewhere in a suit with a boyish charm just kind of makes you remember that the human element of everything. And baseball is a game where you can kind of sit and think about things for a long time. So, man, he is so funny. And I think that's another good segue right there, though, because I'm not going to try to brag too much on the pod, but I forked out the money and I'm going to the All-Star game in my city of Seattle. And I'm going to see Ohtani, man, with the stars. But I think, what do you guys think about?
Congrats, bro. Congrats. It's a big move, bro. Big baller move. And
another thing is, I got the whole weekend pass, so I'm going to hit up the little fanfare. And supposedly on Tuesday of the All-Star game, they have the red carpet show at the Pike Place Market. I read on the back corner of the internet. So I'm gonna go to the red carpet show at the Pike Place Market.
Oh, there we go. There it is, man. Beautiful, dude. Almost looked like he got drizzled on just a tiny bit walking to the bus or something.
Looks like he's just taking with a film camera too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man.
Yeah, it's the Funyun dust, man. Everybody knows that. He's
They
not
want to
trying to
get
get it
on
on his
the suit,
nice
dude.
suit.
Yeah,
He's got a nice
hell no.
little blazer. And he's got his
God
iPad,
damn.
of course, because he's always
Yeah.
like, he's just like imagining that inside fastball.
Dude, and fun fact, that's actually a party-sized Funyun bag. He's just that big of a dude. Looks like a tiny little bag.
Yeah.
So funny.
Yeah, so 2023 All-Star game in Seattle, Washington, man, that's a pretty big thing because I really think we should change. I might change it to the Baseball Hippie Show, a show about the Mariners. But we're really baseball centric too. We got to get Mariners in there. We're a show about baseball, the Mariners second, psychedelia third, denuclearization fourth, in parallel. Not sequentially. So maybe an unordered list. Okay.
Well, the order changes. It's fluid. It's a fluid order. Yeah.
The psychedelia takes all the other orders and does whatever it wants. It's a living organism. Oh yeah.
This is that real 99 I was talking about. If you see a dude playing with a card like this in their lineup, that means it's that dude. Yeah.
That's
Damn,
awesome.
that is
As they should.
Amazing, dude.
And it's cool because then you know you're playing a big leaguer. That is
so
does
that mean that is a picture that Bryce Miller took of him playing, or
that's his normal card?
reposted?
That's his normal card in the game, I'm pretty sure.
But is that like he like posted that or something, or someone was just showing you?
Their website, they have a page,
okay, right.
They got a page full of like all the dudes who have one.
That's
I wish
awesome.
I could get a real 99. Do you have to be a baseball player to get a real 99?
I think so.
You can't just get like a fake one of yourself.
I don't know. You could probably get cancer and do like Make-A-Wish Foundation or something.
Oh man, I don't know if I'd go down that road. That is
How bad do you want it, Jay? How bad?
Who are these guys?
I think it's a lot of minor
everybody
leaguers.
99s, bro.
Yeah,
It's a lot of minor leaguers because I think when you get to the big leagues, you don't really have as much time to play the show anymore. Not as many bus trips from Alabama to Tennessee or wherever the fuck they're playing.
1000%.
They're playing on their Switch on the bus.
That's what I'm saying.
That's fair.
Do we have
that's
just
that.
one?
You get a 3-day contract and a 99.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them.
literally
There's a bunch on
Oh,
it. It's
okay.
kind of hard to navigate it with the screen share, but like
I've never heard of a Cade Roberts before, but maybe he's in the future.
It's
so.
a lot of dudes you haven't heard of because I think it is minor leaguers, but like
Nice. I'd still be stoked if I got him. And shout out to minor leaguers, man. Like, again, I think that's another great facet of baseball is like you got guys like Otani who half the world knows about before they show up. And then you got guys that really just come out of the blue. I don't know. This guy's not really a come out of the blue guy, but definitely a front runner for Baseball Hippie award this year. Corbin Carroll.
Ellie De La Cruz
Homegrown.
has one.
Homegrown.
Nice. I know Ella De La Cruz. Ella De La Cruz is also in the running probably for Baseball Hippie. He's a game changer too, man. Right?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, I love that kid, dude. That dude.
Yeah,
is
so
awesome.
he got Tatis vibes too, where his swag is on a trillion swag on a trillion.
Freddie Peralta, Gunnar Henderson.
Oh, nice. Gunnar Henderson, we used to play with as a future star, tearing it up.
Yeah,
And he's actually hella good, right? It's crazy. He's like, he lived up to the card.
Ian Kinsler has a real 99. He's like an old ass dude to play video games. I feel like
Nice. Good
he's
for
not
him.
that old, but I mean, I feel like it's a lot of younger guys.
Yeah.
That'd be sick to
Tim
trick.
Anderson.
The move would just be to trick your kids and be like, dude, my 99 in the fucking show, bro. You already know.
Vlad Guerrero Jr.
Oh, nice. I wonder if they
Laddie.
play together, multiplayer.
Blake Snell.
Of course.
Nah,
Of course.
all those dudes play
Of course.
fucking COD, dude.
Yeah, but Corbin Carroll, man, he's from Seattle. Went to Lakeside, apparently.
It's crazy.
But he's got
didn't know
swag.
that.
He's got the hair.
Bill
He's
Gates
got
alma mater.
He's got the run. A lot of speedy guys this year coming up. Him, De La Cruz. I still got a soft spot in my heart for Tatis. I got to say that on the show too. I know that he has had his fair share of trouble, but he has been funny to me. People made a big deal out of him dancing when people were chanting, "You're on steroids" at the Cubs game.
That was kind of lit that he was just dancing.
That's like the way he did it. He's got like, you could tell he's kind of like got a little boy personality. He makes fun of things, man.
Ooh,
This
Gabby.
guy kind of, this guy could be
Gabby.
our.
Yeah, weekly roundup. Do we want to talk about J. Cole versus Gabby?
That's something that happened in
G.
this
Cole.
week. Yeah.
G. Cole.
Yeah, definitely. I know the weekly.
What's your
roundup,
guys' takes on that?
This show
Yeah.
ended up being more like a yearly touch, but that's how the first show always is every year. But yeah, man, the recent news. Garrett Cole just threw over Cabby, but I gotta admit that dude, Caballero. Sorry, what's his last name?
Caballero.
Caballero. He has been doing that a lot. He's been playing that like pitch clock.
Well, you know what they say every time he does it is because he has the experience in the minors. That's what they've been saying. So he's been used to this, and he says that everybody else in the minors does the same shit because they know how to manipulate it.
Yeah.
So he says, I'm sure by next year or 2 years, everybody's going to be doing the same thing. And my thing, I know, not to cut you off, Jess, but I just want to point out, dude, it's the starting pitcher's fault. This is all is happening, dude. Nobody's taking any responsibility. It's like, it's not the hitter's fault for the fucking pitch clock, dude. It's starting pitchers are babies and they fucking would take forever. So the fact that it's like any starting pitcher would kind of be mad about a hitter manipulating the clock, it's like, well, damn, bro, it's y'all fault that this is even a rule in the first place because y'all take it fucking forever to pitch, dude. So that's just my take on it.
And Garrett Cole is like a proven sticky user. I don't think he's got any room to complain about anything if people like bending the rules or getting an advantage or anything.
For real.
Yeah, 100%.
100%.
Man. All right. Well, yeah, weekly roundup. I mean, there's a lot we could go on, but we'll cover it next week too. And then,
I just want to throw that out there.
We've been talking a lot of Mariners, but we should do a quick deep dive and then maybe call it a show. But fellas, what are you looking forward to this year? What do you still want to do picks? We're gonna just hold off till next year again, or I know Tobe's to do picks.
I feel weird doing picks like halfway through the season, but if you want to, we can do that next week. If you want to come back with some picks, we can do like.
No, let's.
I throw out. Let's do All-Star break, like not picks for the whole thing, but just like
general
like MVP, and like World Series, just like a couple, like.
Okay, that's like a.
And then just make it real clear, just be like, this is All-Star break picks, like this is straight up based off the first.
All right, well, I'll think of I'll look in our segments list and we'll think of some good ones. We still got to do Ghost of General Managers Pass, so maybe that's a next week thing because Chris Young has been on the scene.
We're a Chris Young podcast. This is actually sponsored by.
He's the top dog. Shout out to DT. He went up to Alaska for the winter, I guess, summer to earn some money. And so he'll be back hopefully by when the Mariners are making their chase.
He's working? I thought it was actually just a retreat from the Mariners. I thought he needed a break.
His job. He had like another job that he quit for years and his boss was a jerk or something.
I thought he was living in a cabin in the Nova Scotia.
Just getting out of internet range. Just can't handle it anymore.
He's off the grid,
He internalizes that shit, man. He gets heated when the Mariners are doing bad. He takes it personally.
Yeah, he kind of freaks me out. We should bring him on the pod, dude, when he gets back.
We'll never. I've tried.
He will.
We've tried.
We'd have to pixelate his face. I feel like he's someone who doesn't want his information on the internet or something. Is that the reason? We'll change his voice and shit. Yeah.
Be like one of those
FBI informant.
He's shadowed and he's got the shadow on.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to DT. I don't mind him in the chat, man. It's like
it's good.
The chat's a free zone to say your piece, but he really is the one perspective, and it's like it's kind of a fresh take, to be honest, for Mariners fans. But he just doesn't like Dipoto, and then in Mariners country, because I definitely live in Seattle, still a little sacrilege to be putting down, but he starts to make me think, which is I like Dipoto. We made the playoffs last year. What more could I ask for? Is a great playoffs, but like I said on the chat, I don't like his relationship with Scott Service. I don't like this idea that because he's his manager that he's untouchable kind of, and maybe that's not true. Maybe he will can him, but the best thing the Rangers got to me was Bruce Bochy as their coach, and to know that Madden is out there not coaching a team, that kind of makes me wonder, because I would love to see a legendary manager come to the Mariners. They need veteran leadership, in my opinion, consistency, someone who's been there and done the big thing.
Jess, I totally agree with you. But I also think you got to put it in perspective. This is a unicorn scenario with Bochy. Amazing manager, but also look at the White Sox last year, dude. Tried to do the same. Am I not wrong? Didn't they not just try to do the same thing, and it just totally fucked up? And they brought in what's his name?
But that's I'm not calling that, but he's also a unicorn, man.
Yeah.
I mean, De
La Russa, yeah. But you know what I mean? Where it's I don't know. I totally agree with what you're saying, but I think I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying, but
all I'm saying is, and this is the harsh words more maybe on the DT side, and he says this a lot too about flexing is a good example. He puts up his earn runs compared to his his innings, and it's like 32 and 37, which is pretty bad. But dude, in championship teams, my guys, that you know how the goes, man. You know, it's not like an emotional thing. It's just, yeah, hey man, you've been underperforming. You see the numbers, we see the numbers. You're going back to the minors. You're packing your shit and you're going back to the minors. I know we've always had a different culture and it's always been different here, but like no heads have rolled. Nothing has, like, no one has taken anything. I think that's because last year it was the same deal. I think their mentality is that they've got this and that they got to just stay the course and win series. And you know what? I just pulled up their record from last year. June 22nd, 2022, they beat the Oakland A's 9-0. They were 31 and 39 today. So we're only a game under today. So I kind of get both sides of it, but I guess I'm saying I don't need Scott Service to get fired necessarily, although if he has a no-touch clause, that's weird to me. But I need, like, at least – I mean, I guess they got rid of La Stella. I'll give them some of that, but it sucks because –
Don't touch me, dude.
Another thing – oh, man. I mean, I don't want to call him out because he gets the most flack in Mariner Nation, but, like, Wong – would be one guy that might get sent to the minors for a little bit, you know. It's like
they don't do the thing with that. It's like you don't send guys to the minors who you have that much money on the book. Like, first of all, I don't know if he even has.
Yeah.
He may not even have options left, but like you're paying the dude $8 million, $10 million, something like that. It's not going to happen. They're not going to do that.
Okay.
And that dude's probably going to ask to be released or void his. I don't know exactly how that works either, but like they just can't do that. It's like people were advocating to send Julio back to the minors at the beginning of the year when he was struggling more, and it's like, dude, you literally sell a section of tickets in center field called the no-fly zone where you get a T-shirt with Julio on it. They're not. They can't do that. It's not an option. They're not going to send the dude back to the minor leagues.
Yeah, he's either figures it out. Yeah, he figures it out. There's no other option. But remember, last year at this time, you were super steadfast that the.
I know. Let's channel Brown Bear from last year, bro.
Do you feel different this year? Because I kind of get the vibe, and I might be speaking for you on that.
No, dude, I feel like there's a different vibe to the team this year, where like I feel like where I was coming from with that last year, and I don't want to be negative, and I don't want it to sound like I think the season's ruined or we're definitely out of it. We have no chance. We all saw it. We can win 14 in a row, and shit happens. And like I said earlier, we're only 4 games out of the wild card. I had a feeling last year though that when you would watch the team play, there's something about the way they played, like the fundamentals, the way they would string hits together in big moments, the way they would, like, you know, it's kind of fluky, but the way they would win in extra innings and in one-run games and stuff like that. Yeah. And that has all kind of seemed to disappear, and there's a lot more weird base running and weird defensive errors that happen where dudes just like don't seem like they're clicking, don't seem like they're connecting.
Don't remind me.
Really those problematic.
Kickoffs, dude. I blew a gasket. They got it. La Stella got picked off on second with 2 outs, and he hasn't stole a fucking base in 5 years. Come on, it's man, that is a beyond a blow.
Plus, it's like Ty France getting picked off on first too. Like those dudes should not be leading off to the point of being able to get picked off. Like
at all.
You're not fast enough. It doesn't matter. That's that extra step.
That's MLB the show, bro. Move right there.
Right. Yeah. The extra step ain't doing shit for you, my guy. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It isn't.
But on top of that, there's like some pretty big red flags in terms of their plate approach and the strikeout rate and things like that. Like, yeah, just certain things feel different to me. And I like statistics and stuff, but I'm not super into the advanced stats, so I don't know about like expected batting average or like weighted batting average or anything like that. But what I do feel confident in is the eye test and like the vibe of the team, and it just feels different to me, and it looks sloppier and looks less. They're not gelling in the same way. That being said, there's a lot of season left. shit can get figured out. Every few games we have these games where shit all comes together, like today, and we scored 12 runs against the Yankees and shut them out. Like, it's there somewhere, but it just, you don't see it coming together as frequently. And even I think when we were in, I think it was like, late April through mid-June last year when we had like a pretty bad slump, there was something about the way they were playing that like didn't give me as much bad feeling about the team. But that's where I'm at with it. But I don't want that to sound like I've given up or like I think the team is like totally done for. I think we still got a chance to figure something out. We have the right pieces. Our pitching, I think when it's on, has been one of the best in the league. I think we can still be there, but when you pair pitching that's slumping with bats that just haven't found it from the start of the year, then the team just looks really bad. And then on top of that, losing the fundamentals of defense and base running is just, it all combines for a nasty mix.
Fucking bad news bears is what it is.
Papa Bear, baby. Dude, dropping points, dude. That was beautiful. I agree with everything you say right there. That was crazy.
I agree too. I just want to throw down, and I think you know this, is I think this is a Buster Olney original, but it's like winning breeds camaraderie, team, like, what is it? Team chemistry. Winning makes chemistry is what the old saying goes. So it's like a part of me wants to believe that once they gel and the ball rolls a lot like last year, then they just become the good team. They don't look like a good team every once in a while. They actually become it. So I honestly feel like I have the most optimism this year because I'm a big, like, Cardinals core, and honestly, I'm starting to change to Atlanta as looking at as the cornerstone of what a good organization year after year is. But I feel like
But wait, tap into that Atlanta even more though. Didn't Atlanta have a horrible record the first half of the season when they won the World Series?
They got off to a slump, but now they're hot and they're gonna look like
this year,
the year they won the World Series, they were definitely not. They were a wild card
bad. They were they were bad the first half of the season when they lost.
A lot can change though. Like last year, I think we're outside of the Astros the best team in the AL after the All-Star break when you put it all together. And I think the pieces are all there if the dudes live up to their potential.
Well, here's another element of that too that needs to be said, I think, is I've been thinking about this a lot, is Gino was a great pickup last year and kind of a surprise and a clubhouse guy. So it was like that triple tandem you can't undermine. And I kind of see him having flashes. I don't know what he's exactly lost. It looks like his bat speed's there. I mean, his approach is definitely, I don't know, but it's easy to say
too much.
Yeah. I mean, we do have that. That's really just going to be our demise if we don't live up to expectations this year, will be the strikeout rate. And if we don't, I would, then you would have any reality of a organization, Scott's name at least makes it to the chopping block. Not that we're going to.
He's got protection. I know you don't want to hear he's got protection from being Dipoto's homie, but like he, if anything, has protection from being a finalist for manager of the year for the last 2 consecutive years. You're not going to you're not going to can a dude for one bad season after he's been voted 2 times in a row as one of the best managers in the league.
I know. I know that I am hard on Dipoto, man, or Service. I'll just throw that out there, man.
Scotty.
I always have been, and I'm kind of a dick about it. But I guess what I'm trying to say is, if we don't make the playoffs this year, isn't like, I don't know. There's got to be a change, right?
I'm with you. I'm not saying there shouldn't be action taken and that we don't need some sort of, like you say, heads need to roll, or like we need some sort of corrective action to like change course. I guess I want to know what it is. Like, do we let
It's
the
tough.
players get like run their, like, are the players too in charge of their approach and in charge of what they want to do? Like, I imagine it's a hard balance to find between allowing players to be themselves, which seems to be like a tenet of what Scott Service is about. Is he wants the players to embrace who they are and to be able to feel comfortable being who they are. And I think you see that come through in guys like Julio and stuff, but I think that can come to bite you if guys have their own approach to training and their own approach to conditioning and things like that, and you're allowing them to do these things, and they're not, I don't know if it's coaching or what, but like someone I think at a point needs to step in and be like, bro, you have literally the most strikeouts in the entire league. Like, we can't do this again. Like, you got to change. Try this thing for me for 5 games. Like, do this thing for 5 games because
2-strike redacted.
You're fucking up, bro. Like, so
Yeah.
I think it's a hard balance to find between what seems to be his style and what I think a manager needs to do at some point. But at the same time, it's not like you're like,
you understand the frustration because you are also a Mariners fan, so you see where I'm coming from. But I do see where you're going with it, which is like we have we have what we have. We got to make it work. It's like we could fire 5 Scott Services. It's not going to make Kelenic and Julio play well together. It's not going to make Gilbert and Kirby go back-to-back wins. I think that's what we're looking for. That was the thought. Every time Julio and Kels win a game, it just feels like that's the fucking formula right there.
mm-hmm.
I know we're at time, y'all, and Tobe, I know me and Brownbear have been going pretty hard, so I want to get you in, but I just have one more thing to ask because it's kind of deep into the Mariners world, and we're taking a Mariners deep dive. Am I making up? What's the deal with France in terms of like contract wise? Is he getting money? Because I feel like if he's not, and maybe again, I might just be making this up, that there's some disgruntledness there because he is streaky, but now again, he's good. He's back on his hot streak. He has been a pretty consistent hitter on a pretty bad team. Am I making this up that France has that there might be some kind of bad vibes in the clubhouse, or is that from not getting signed or not feeling like they're getting their due?
Nah, I think I know what you're saying, but I personally think you're reading into it a little too much. But I know how that could be there. I think if they're gonna re-sign someone, they're gonna do it like how they did with Julio later in the season and give him a contract. And I mean, obviously he deserves one. He's batting .275 right now. Like, I don't know. I think contract wise, I think whatever Dipoto and the ownership group have to deal with is they are heavy eyeing the trade deadline right now. And we do know, that's one of Dipoto's, his bread and butter is trying to do a good trade. I don't know. And I get the service and I get all that, but I do think at this point, it's like, if it's going to happen, man, I don't think it's going to be this season. I think they're going to let this season play out. I think if anything happens, it's going to be next season type of thing. But the point I wanted to make too is just going back a little further of what Brownbear said earlier is the 1-1 games, the extra inning games, man, it's a huge difference from last year and the year before that. And that's one of those things where I'm like, I don't know. I don't know, dude. I think it's just one of those things where that to me is eye check. It is vibe because it's like you got, and it might just be tight, poorly constructed lineup at this point. And the point I was trying to make though is the DH position, bro, is so poorly handled in the Mariners thing. And I know this is kind of like a random take, but I do think it relates in the sense of I don't know why they chose to treat the DH like it's a utility position for, outfielders, infielders, because like right now they need dudes to be hitting above 250 on the DH, and they have
Yeah.
three
Yeah.
fucking randos right now, and I'm like, dude.
All right. Well, I like that. That's
Yeah.
it's like I think it's some clubhouse thing. Yeah, I'm with you. The DH is a good thing to point. Brown Bear, what's your rebuttal to all that? And B, what would you say is the biggest sore point? Maybe it's that not getting the wins. But I do need to remind everybody, we were 8 games under last year, and you both, from the eye check, sounds like you thought they were a better team last year, even though the record was lower, is how I feel. Maybe I'm wrong about that.
Well, before he says anything, I just want to say I totally agree with what Brownbear was saying. I just think I totally agree on every point. But yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I think it's largely the same team. It's less about. I feel like it's less about the makeup of the team and more about their execution and like fundamentals, and they seem sloppier, I guess, is the easiest way to put it. And there's not been a whole lot of change or turnover on the team. We kind of swapped out Haniger for Teo, but you kind of like Haniger didn't play a whole lot last year because he was fucking hurt. He played well when he was here. Teo is kind of turning it up as it turns to summertime, which from my understanding is his MO. It's kind of how he goes. I think the team is pretty much the same team we got, but there's just you can't have everybody slumping at the same time, and that's kind of what's been happening.
They look shitty.
Yeah, and you can't have everyone striking out.
Everyone plays bad at the same time, and then we'll all click on a game and hit 5 home runs and score 12 runs. And
it's like you can have Gino striking out the most, but when you got 4 out of 5 dudes on the top strikeout leader, it also comes back to Gino making them look fucking trash because you're like, dude, I'm sure he's in the dugout like, God damn, bro. Like I haven't changed my approach. I was the top strikeout leader last year too, bro, and it was fine. Like, now I look fucked up. Now my whole approach looked all fucked up, man.
Yeah, now that
it's like J-Rod Kelly, you gotta get off this strikeout list, bro. What the fuck?
100%.
But yeah,
real quick,
it's tough.
I want to get in a word about Ty France. I think obviously the dude deserves something. I think the team's in a tough spot. He's a late bloomer. He's not a free agent until 2026, and he's about to be 29 years old. That's a hard dude to give a contract extension to.
I bet he's pissed, though. I just, in my heart of hearts.
First of all, I don't know if he's pissed.
I don't think he's pissed.
It's not very. I think the culture, like the recent, sea change of people getting these huge contracts early in their career before they've reached their free agent years or even their arbitration years. It's kind of like, I think, warped the way that people look at contracts and stuff, because that's not a normal thing. A lot of dudes don't normally get an extension until they're like a year, maybe 2 years away from going to free agency. And he's still 3 years away. I mean, if you count the rest of this year. So 2.5 years away from being a free agent. So, because he'll have the rest of this year, 2024 and 2025.
I
he make it $4 million. He make it $4 million.
I understand that. I guess my question is more, is it messing with the camaraderie? It feels like a reach. I'll be 100% with you. I'm Jesse. I know not a single Mariner or person in the clubhouse. There hasn't been a squeak of internet or anything about Ty France being disgruntled. I could just be full on making this up. So I want to take that on. I want to wear that. But in some ways, even with all the reasoning that I do understand as well, and that's a great point, what you just said, but him himself, is he all just like, man, fuck Julio? But I mean, you can say about Kels too.
I think they're real with themselves. They know that Ty France knows he's not Julio. He knows he's not going to be Julio. I think Ty France is comfortable with who he is, but
you could argue he's better than Lindor, and he's on the top contract list. Sorry,
but personality-wise, anyway, I know what you're saying, because it's like he's linchpin. He's definitely part of the core of the team. But I think personality wise, I think that dude's the type of dude who's like, like he's kind of still probably like to the aspect where he's like, well, I deserve to be where I be, but also like, like wasn't highly touted, wasn't fucking even good when he was a rookie. Right. So it's like he's like, dude, he's like, as long as when I get a free agent and I get another contract, I'm sure he'll just be like, I'm happy, bro. But maybe not. I don't know. But he does
keeps it up,
that personality where he's just like
at 39.
And you also, I mean, and you also have to think, dude. It's like he took the spot of Evan White, who was the fucking first round draft pick. So it's like on his shit, he's probably just like, yeah, I don't know, like I did just like came from nowhere and just took this dude's spot who sucks and I'm killing it. So it's like I'm sure he just still feels like he's like, I don't know, like
the defensive side plays into it too, because he's good at first base now. I don't think he I don't think he's not a true first baseman, and I don't think he's a true any defensive position. I think he's eventually going to have to be a designated hitter unless he can find a way to stay in the field. I just think that there's a lot of things stacking up against him from getting that kind of extension. Would I like to see Ty get some sort of like JP type extension where it's not like crazy money, but makes him feel confident and like he's attached to the team for a few more years?
All-star team,
Dude, I'm with you. I think Ty France is great, but at the same time, I think there's like you bring up Lindor. Lindor got that contract. He was really young still, and like
you're right.
There's a difference in being. I'd have to look.
And he had a monster season.
There's a difference in being early 20s and playing that way, and being almost 20. He's like a few days away from 29 and playing that way.
Good point. Yeah,
it's hard. I think for the team, a team who's known to be fucking tight with the wallet as it is, it's hard for them to extend that money to a guy who, I don't know. They? It sucks. I hope they have conversations with Ty France about it and let them know where they're at, because I don't want them, I don't want to lose out on Ty France, but at the same time, maybe they think dude's going to fall off when he's 32 and they don't really want to give him the money.
Well, and showing from pattern basis, it's like the Mariners will cough up money when they're fucking 10 games above 500. So you know what I'm saying? It's like, shit, if we do a big run at the end of the season, maybe they'll extend Ty France, but now they're like, we ain't fucking spending.
Well, I'm glad I brought it up. I just put it out in the air. It is what it is.
It's a good podcast topic.
It's a tough Mariners. It's definitely into the deeper dive of Mariners world. But I think we'll wrap it up. But I do want to leave us with, technically we didn't have Suarez at this time last year, or sorry, Castillo at this time last year. And we're about 6 games over where we were at this time last year, and he's probably won like 5 or 6 games. You're going to argue that he's been the true difference of why our record was worse last year? Or we were on the same podcast at this same month on this same day, except we had not spun around the earth or the sun one more time. And we were talking shit on the Mariners like, damn, another losing season. I was pissed that I had paid for cable. I remember saying that on the show. So it's like, I think things can change. I'm with you guys. The eye test, definitely not there this part of the season. Do they look worse somehow than they were last year? Somehow. Is their record better? Somehow. Will they make the playoffs? Maybe we'll, at the end of the season, say somehow, but...
Wait, can I bring up one more thing? I know we're go overtime. I know we're overtime, but I'd like to do a new quick segment I'm adding to the show right now, and it is the Luis Arise MLB The Show rating check, and we're gonna do it every fucking podcast because
he's batting 400 in real life.
He is batting. So let's just give
the best card in the game. He literally leads batting average by like 6.
We'll do it quick. We'll let the listeners know next podcast. I just want to do it quick. But his rating right now is 80. He is a gold. And we will keep you updated as this goes, and we'll probably dive into it next podcast. But I just wanted to let you know we're starting this segment. Also, I just want to bring up another point. This is probably the most baseball heavy heavier conversations we've had in any of the podcasts I've been a part of, and I'm loving it. But for our viewers, stick with us, man. We're fucking hello darkness, my old friend. We're really trying to dive into the we're sitting on the bench, bro. We're in the dugout right now with the boys, dude. Baseball heavy, I mean, in the sense of we're talking, you know, it's
wait,
like, you know what I mean? It's like
we're talking
contracts, we're talking about.
What are you
No,
trying to give
yeah,
the fans, Tobe? That's the part I don't understand what you're saying. What are we giving the fans? Because you said hello darkness.
I'm saying next time we're gonna give them, you know, a couple of jokes. We'll get a little jokes off top. We'll get a little, you know, a little laughs, a little like we did. We know our hippie award, all this shit. I'm just saying for the fans who watch it, who don't even know anything about baseball, this is for you. We'll get you next podcast. This one, we do
deeper dives into the psychedelia realm. Also, I got to think of a segment for next week, so maybe I'll keep it a little more light and psychedelia. I understand, but yeah, man. I mean, I think me. I don't know what I meant by that. I honestly think listening to these podcasts got me hyped, dude. I listen to podcasts all the time. I listen to Mike Tyson podcasts. I listen to a couple like women podcasts and like. Caller Daddy I listen to sometimes, man. I'm in the podcast world at work.
What's Caller Daddy? What's that one?
I forgot her name, but she's just like a New York chick that just like tells it how it is in her world. I don't know, man. I just like expand into my shit. Sometimes I listen to like, you know, something new. I've been listening to a lot of Rap Radar, like my hip hop podcast.
Well, also, five billionaires just died in a submarine crash. We'll keep you up to date on that one.
Oh yeah, that's crazy. That's pretty sad. Yeah, Tobe. So Tobe, you want to add any more segments before we close out the show?
No, that's all I'm saying, man. Also, I just apologize what the fuck I just said. That was like so depressing. I'm sorry. It's been a great podcast. I just meant. I don't know. I don't even know what I meant.
I'm telling you, these baseball podcasts have rubbed off, man. We got to talk baseball. That's what the people want.
Yeah. They do want that.
Brownbear, you get the last word, man. Tobe's out of segments. But I like the Luisa Reese. I like the Luisa
segment. That is.
Tobe, remember, you got a whole season to make up for a metaphor for the Mariners and a metaphor
okay.
for life.
Yes. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
We got
it's a cliffhanger right there. All right, bro.
Wait, before Brownbear, I'm sorry. This is like I'm cutting. This is so obnoxious. I'm hating myself. But I just wanted to bring up shout out to everyone who brought out their Jared Kelenic jerseys they bought 2 years ago at the beginning of the season. I saw the day of light, bro. Oh God! We saw those at the stadium. Oh man,
a lot of them, man. I do.
We love it. We love it. Dust them boys off, man. We love it.
Dust them off. Here's to Jared Kelenic. Thanks for joining, everybody. Have a great week.
Love you guys.
Love you, man.
Peace.